I think there's some ups and downs along the way.
David and Annie were once a fan favorite couple from 90 Day Fiance until everything came crashing down when they stepped away from the show, but now there's a new update about them and you'll never believe what's going on with them. So since David made his 90 Day Fiance debut way back in 2017, it's no hidden secret that he has struggled with his weight and appearance a lot. He seems to have tried everything, and at one point he was actually making really good progress when he was in Thailand with Annie, but that came crashing down when he returned to the United States after getting engaged to Annie in Thailand. But either way, David refused to let the fact that he gained a lot of weight stop him in any way, and he seems to have lost some major weight again. Thanks to his current fitness regimen, David was able to drop down a few sizes back in December, but that was just the beginning of his crazy weight loss journey. He kept his focus up, and now David has lost more weight than anyone ever anticipated. Annie recently shared an updated video of David's fitness journey, and everyone seems just so happy and loving, what they see, especially David and Annie. And I have to say that he's come a really long way from where he was back in December, and this might just be the start for him. And in this video that Annie shared on her Instagram page, David was wearing a blue shirt and black pants, and what caught the attention of everyone was how fitted his clothes looked on him. And when you make that type of progress that David has made in his fitness journey, you definitely will be super proud of yourself and excited to share it on social media. And that's exactly what he did. In this video, David was all smiles while he gave an update concerning his weight loss journey, and he explained that he still plans on losing more weight and has a really long way to go in his journey. And he also claimed that so far he has, lost around 50 to 60 pounds, but he isn't sure the exact figure. And even though David wasn't exactly sure, how much weight he's lost, Annie seems to be more certain about the exact amount of pounds David has shed in the last few months. She seems to be really convinced that David has lost at least 10 more pounds than he thinks he has, and so for her, David has probably lost around 70 pounds. And part of the reason why she believes he's actually lost 70 pounds is that David has lost almost all the weight he had on his stomach, and according to him, he can actually see his toes now. And I have to say, Annie sounded really happy for David, and I honestly don't think she could have sounded any happier than she did in that video. And since Annie posted this video on her Instagram page, so many people have come out to congratulate David on how far he's come in his weight loss journey. He's definitely worked really hard to get where he is today, and I totally think he's going to end up, hopefully achieving whatever goal he sets for himself sometime in the future. And even some of his 90 Day Fiance co-stars like Amira and Jenny and Debbie and even Angela Deem congratulated him on this major milestone. And with all the congratulations in order, I have to say that David and Annie have obviously come a very long way since the start of their relationship. It's crazy to think about how far they've come in their relationship when they both met in a karaoke bar in Thailand. Back then, David was going through some crazy life crises. I mean, he just divorced his wife of 21 years, and that's definitely going to take a toll on anybody, not to mention that divorces aren't really an easy thing to go through with. And if losing his wife of 21 years wasn't bad enough, he also lost his job, he lost his home, and he suffered a really horrible stroke. I mean, David was going through so much back then, I can't even begin to imagine how he must have been feeling. And in his words, his life was in a place that he'd never wish on his worst enemy, and that was how terrible everything was for him. And I can totally understand why, after 3 years of struggling, he decided to pack his bags and head to Thailand for a fresh start. And not only did he end up getting the fresh start that he desperately needed, but he also ended up finding much more. For David, meeting Annie was definitely love at first sight, and this is probably why things moved really fast for them. And it's also the reason why it took him only 10 days to realize that Annie was, in his words, the one, and he decided to propose to her after just 2 weeks of dating. But David's happily ever after was still very far away from him even after meeting Annie. He had to go through so many challenges. He even had to borrow money from his friend to apply for a K-1 visa for Annie, since he literally had no money of his own. And this wasn't even the worst part, because there's this Thai tradition where a man has to pay a dowry to his fiance's parents before actually getting married to her, and David was more than certain that he didn't have the kind of money he needed to do everything that they were asking for, and apparently he was asked for $15,000, which is an insane amount of money. And thankfully, with the help of his friend, he was able to settle everything and bring Annie over to the United States. And since Annie and David made their debut at 90 Day Fiance, they've been major fan favorites, and despite everything that they've been through, they've actually managed to stand the test of time. And right now, they're one of the most famous couples from the franchise, which is expected in a way since they've appeared on so so many spin-offs, and they've even had their own show. And even though a good number of 90 Day Fiancé couples have already split up this year, David and Annie are pretty much going on very strong, and this is extremely obvious with the amount of love that they show for each other on social media. And sure, we can't deny that everything we see on social media is not actually the truth, but David and Annie seem more genuine than most, and right now they're living their best life as they're focusing on traveling, even though their home is in Arizona, and they even have their own YouTube channel where they record their travel experiences, the new cultures they face, and their cooking adventures. And they even recently traveled to Singapore and Nepal, and they also met Annie's mother. And David and Annie seem to be thriving on all fronts, and you can't help but be happy for them. And it seems like David isn't the only one in their relationship who has lost some weight. Apparently Annie has lost some weight too, and for many people she's slimmed down and gotten a lot smaller. But that isn't the only thing. There are some crazy rumors going around that she's actually had some work done on her face. However, I don't think anyone can really confirm or deny this, and Annie definitely hasn't said anything about it so far. So do you guys think that Annie really had some work done on her face? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And guys, like always, thank you so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor, hit that like, follow, share, subscribe button, and y'all better stay tuned for many more.